Well, it's 7 o'clock, and I think we're going ahead and get started. Thank you for being here. I'm Dan Stockwell. I'm the DALMAC director for the 2023 tour. And with me tonight is Dave Mansfield, who is our guru of routes and maps. And thank you for joining, Dave. And I'm still admitting people, so I may pause for a moment to admit folks to the meeting. So far, we've got about 15, 16 people in the meeting. I'm very happy about that. So let's go ahead and get started, and I'll let you know as we go along what we're doing here. So the purpose of tonight's meeting is to just talk a little bit about the ride, to introduce you to some of the features of the ride, the rules and procedures that we have around the ride. And then Dave is going to review the maps and the use of the ride with GPS system that we utilize in the ride. And my attention is drawn away as I'm admitting more people, but we want to be sure that everybody gets in. So welcome to DALMAC. We're very happy that you're here, and I think everybody's excited. We're coming up on the date, and we're busy, very busy preparing for you. And we have prepared a lot of stuff. We've got some nice clothing. We're ready to go. So let's get into some of the stuff here. We've developed rules and procedures over the years to help make the ride safe and fun. And we like to reinforce some of those rules, because if you don't have rules, you can have some problems. There will be crew members throughout, and they will be wearing bright day-glow green shirts identifying them as crew. And if you have any questions or any concerns as you're on the tour, please approach one of those people and they can help you out. I am not riding this year. I'm going to be driving the route and crisscrossing the state to visit with people on the ride and to help troubleshoot anything that comes up. So I'll be wearing a crew shirt too. So if I run into you, let's say hello. There will be a document in your packet that will have the details of all the rules and the procedures for the tour. I'm going to hit on some of those tonight, just to make sure you have the high points. And then when you get the packet, when you register, be sure to read that document carefully, because we've put a lot of thought into that, and the rules are all things that make some sense. One of the things we're really proud of in this ride is this event is 100% volunteer run. We have no paid staff. I'm retired, and several of our folks are retired, and we pretty much dedicate a lot of time to doing this, along with all those volunteers that help us out on the road and at the pavilion for check-in and helping us organize this ride. We have over 150 volunteers that help us. We are always looking for volunteers, and if any one of you would like to consider volunteering for the ride, please do so. You can send an email to volunteer@dalmac.org, and our DALMAC volunteer coordinator would love to hear from you and know that you can find a role for you. And one of the great things about volunteering is that after a certain number of volunteer events and time, you will be entitled to some nice goodies, like up to and including a free DALMAC. So we have a lot of folks who volunteer for the ride, and they may volunteer for a couple of years and then take advantage of their free DALMAC. So keep that in mind as you think about how you might play a role with helping us out. Okay, so in the map booklet, we're going to talk about that, and Dave's going to show you more detail in a little bit. The maps are oriented generally pointing either up or to the right, so that north is up or to the right. And the map booklets are printed in such a way that you see the route basically horizontally, and since we're going north, north is to the right. You also have cue sheets in the back of your booklet, And some folks prefer a cue sheet rather than following a map, and we've provided that. And the cities are indicated in the parentheses. The D symbol, which you see over here, that's what gets painted on the road. If you've ridden DALMAC before, you're familiar with this, but this D on the road tells you where to turn. Keep in mind that some municipalities prohibit painting on the roads, and therefore we have to rely more on our maps and our GPS. And in some locations, we may have signs that indicate where to turn. The map booklet contains all the information you need to ride. It's the information about the location of porta potties, and we have a whole bunch of those along the route. We have the repair truck locations, food locations, private SAG meeting points, and lots of other information in the map booklet. We recommend that you do carry that map booklet with you, even if you are depending on your GPS. It's important, I think, to be able to have a backup in case there's a problem with the GPS, that it should run out of battery or some other technical issue. Strongly recommend that you keep that map booklet with you. The route leader's name and the phone number will be on the first page of the map booklet. And by the way, I did the final proof and approval of the map booklets today. So they are probably being printed as we speak. It's pretty exciting to get all those done. But I looked, and yes, sure enough, the leader's name and phone numbers are all in the front of the map booklet, and the SAG support number for your route. We'll talk a little bit more about SAG in a minute. Keep in mind, it's very important that in case of a crash involving a motor vehicle or an injury to a rider, please call 911 first, then call the SAG. We do need to know about it, but we want you to get we want you to hang on here. I got to admit a couple more people to the room. We want you to make sure that you get the help you need from 911, but we also want to know, and then so call the SAG as well. Okay. So we have a lot of signs, and the signs are very helpful indicators, tell you where to camp, the areas that we have set aside for CPAP, the locations of meals, and other directions that are specific to each site. So please be on the lookout. They are kind of a standardized look. They're white with black lettering, and they're on little wire wickets that are stuck into the ground around the sites. And that will give you a lot of information about where you need to go. Also look for the white pop-up tent. We have in camp every night. We have a white pop-up tent that's the route headquarters, and you can find help if you need to talk to somebody. Lemonade, water, and other kinds of treats are generally in those pop-up tents. So feel free to step up there and talk to the route staff if you have any issues. Meal times, breakfast is 6:30 to 8, dinner is 5 to 7. But please note, some of these meal times could vary by site. We have, in particular, some locations where we can't get into the school until later, and I'll mention that right now. At our site in, pardon me, Gladwin, we are not going to be able to get into the school until 3:45, so it's kind of late. So look for any changes specific to those routes when you go into the school grounds and look at the signs. The return bus information, we have a number of buses that will return you to the starting point of your ride. The departure for East Lansing is 3 p.m. sharp, and we mean sharp. The doors close and the bus rolls at 3 o'clock. And the bikes need to get loaded on the bus or on the trucks early, 2 p.m. Second departure for East Lansing, 6 p.m. Load bicycles before 5. And departures for Grayling and Gladwin, for those who took the east routes and the shorter routes along with the east routes, those leave at 4:30 p.m. So there's got to be rules, like I said, and keeping camping areas clean. We are guests at high schools, and for the 5 West, we're going to be at a new site at Kalkaska at a place they call the Coliseum, which is the kind of their community activities center, and we're very happy to be there. And we want to make sure that our hosts are happy to have us back by keeping everything clean. Load your own bags on the trucks starting at 7 a.m. So that's important because that truck is going to roll out at about 9 o'clock. And if your bag's not on board, that could be a problem. So make sure that you are loading your bags yourself onto the luggage trucks at 7 a.m. And we really need help in camp to unload the trucks, because we've got the truck driver and a few camp staff, but it'd be very helpful if you have an opportunity to lend a hand to lay the luggage out in back of the truck. Now, if we have rain, we do have large plastic sheets, and we lay the luggage onto a plastic sheet behind the truck, and we try to cover as much as we can with another plastic sheet on top. But let's hope we don't have rain. Bicycles and e-bikes are not allowed in overnight facilities. There's a big growth in e-bikes, and we are offering e-bike charging, and we'll talk about the battery exchange in a minute, but that charging is going to be outside under a pop-up tent. We have talked to some of the schools, and they have some concerns about e-bike batteries that can explode and cause a fire. And we definitely don't want to burn down one of our fine schools in northern Michigan. And keeping bicycles out is another kind of safety thing. It's a trip hazard. We just need to keep bikes and the e-bikes out of the school. The wristband that you'll get at registration is your ticket to everything. It provides you access to the SAG services. It provides your ticket to the meals, and it needs to be worn at all times. If it becomes misplaced or falls off, please go to the camp headquarters, and they will take care of that. Helmets are mandatory on the bike ride, and you will be stopped and asked to put on a helmet if you're not wearing one. Pets are not allowed on any TCBA sponsored tour. You can go look at the complete policy at biketcba.org, and that is very important. We understand that folks love their animals, but the bike tour is not a great place to have a pet. The quiet hours in camp are from 9 to 6 a.m., 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. I know when I'm in camp on the ride, I'm done by 9. I'm not making any noise except the snoring. Charging stations will be available to charge phones and other devices. We've upgraded our charging capabilities pretty substantially this year. We have purchased some 60-port USB charging devices and racks to put phones in addition to our usual phone charging stands that look like shoe pockets on a big A-frame. So all of those things will be available. And because we've done some research, and we've figured out that the average rider these days has 5 rechargeable devices. And we needed to step up and make sure we supported that for our riders. Be a good bike citizen. I was having a conversation today with a bicyclist, and he said he really tries to ride according to all the safety and the traffic laws. Because remember, we are subject to the same laws as automobile users. Do report any road rage or serious aggression by calling 911. We'd also appreciate a report from you to the ride leaders to make sure that we have a feeling for how much of that is occurring. It's an unfortunate thing that this happens, and we are not immune from it, but please report it and let us know. For SAG services, keep in mind, we're not Uber. We're not on call to just pick you up and take you wherever you'd like to go. It's really designed to assist with mechanical or medical issues, and a rider who just simply can't get to the next stop. We will take you up the route to the next repair station or to camp. The SAG vehicles will carry water and some nutrition. We'll have some fruit and cookies on the SAG vehicles. So when you see one stopped, you can stop there and get something to eat and get water. The SAG vehicles will carry a tire pump, so you can fix your own tire and pump it up. We will not repair your bike. The SAG drivers are not equipped to repair bikes, but we do have the pump for you to pump up a tire after you've changed it, if that's the case. The first aid kit we have in every one of our vehicles. It's for minor scrapes, again, for safety and liability reasons. We will not perform the first aid unless it is life-threatening and we think we can make a difference. But in most cases, if you've got a bad case of road rash, we're going to have some great first aid supplies that you'll be able to get and patch yourself up, or we will call 911 for you if the matter is serious and you've got a serious injury. Special note for e-bike riders. I don't know if I've got any e-bike riders out here, but I'm going to talk about this anyway because it's a growing segment. We have a number of people. I was just on the TCVA summer tour, and I'm thinking we had at least 15 to 20 e-bikes on that tour. So it's becoming popular. We have this support procedure. If you have a bike that has a removable battery, you can put that battery in a designated SAG vehicle. There will be a sign on the vehicle saying which vehicle it is, and to make sure your phone number and your name is on that battery, and that will go into the SAG vehicle and be carried up the route. And that SAG vehicle is going to leave at 8 o'clock, 8 a.m. sharp. So remember, the DALMAC runs on time. At the location indicated on the map for your route, and when you look at the map book, you'll see a little box that says e-bike charging or e-bike battery swap. And that designated vehicle will stop there at 11 a.m. and will stay in place till 1 p.m. And then you can swap your batteries there. Now, if all the batteries have been picked up, we will move on. And once they're all picked up, we calculated approximately average on a battery 40 miles. Some other bikes have a greater distance, but many of them average around 40 miles of battery. Recommend you carry your charger on your bike if you can, and recharge if needed. Will prevail upon a business, go in and buy some ice cream and see if they'll let you plug in, something like that. And the signs will direct you to charging locations in the camp at the end of the day. And again, e-bikes are not allowed in the school buildings. So I'm going to turn it over to Dave here in a minute. And he's going to talk about Ride with GPS and the maps. But first, let me see if you have any questions about what I've covered so far. Just unmute yourself and talk.
This is Mitch Jones. I'm watching from the Chicago area.
Okay.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
So I've got a couple of questions based on what you just covered. And one might be because I signed in a little bit late. But the map booklets, where do we get those and when?
The map booklets will be distributed at ride registration check-in at the MSU Pavilion.
Okay.
And if you're on one of the other routes, they were available in Grayling.
Yeah, I'm doing the 5 days. So
okay, then you would pick
and
up
then
your map.
The other question was about the return buses. I'm going to be riding with two friends, one of whom is a little concerned about we were signed up for the 3 o'clock bus back to Lansing. But one of our group of three is a little concerned about getting up there in time to make that bus. So I guess what I'm wondering is, will there be space on the later bus if she doesn't make the early bus?
There is possibly space on a later bus, but we really encourage you to be there in time for the bus. If there's any doubt, contact, or you can go to our registration page at Race Roster, and you can contact the registrar for the ride and see if you can be switched.
Okay. Okay, thank you for that.
You're welcome. Any other questions before I turn it over to Dave? All right.
There we go.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I've got a question that's kind of related to the other one. Do you know approximately what amount of time we should allow for to leave in the morning to be able to get there and get the bikes on the truck at 2 and on the bus at 3?
It all depends on your pace. Most riders start riding somewhere between 7:15 and 8 a.m. And if the earlier, the better. We don't want you on the road before sunrise, but if you can get on the road early, that's going to help. And typically we gauge everything by riders leaving in that 7:15 to 8 a.m. time frame.
Okay.
Other questions? All right. Dave, the floor is yours.
All right. Let me get my screen sharing up here. All right, this is a sample map I have up because it's pages pulled from the different books. But in the front, right before the maps, there'll be a page that explains what the symbols are. Most of them are fairly obvious. If you see a blue circle, that's a sign that there's a split. Because we have multiple routes and some of the routes has alternate routes. So that's where routes split. So be a little careful to make sure you go in the right direction at that point. And painted on the road will be a white, like a double arrow with a D. And that will be on the road before the yellow arrows to warn you there's a split coming up. So if you see that symbol on the road, there again, watch. Make sure you get the right split. Numbers at a 45-degree angle like this is mileage at that corner to kind of give you a clue where, how many miles you should reach that corner at. The color coding for lines, blue is a main route, black is an alternate route, and red is personal sag route, just to kind of warn you there might be extra cars in that area. We have sag lines in the map, which is a heavy dashed line, and they have a time on them. And that's the time you should be at that location, either at that time or before. There's places where the personal sags can meet you if you have one, and those are indicated on the map. It says PSM and then whatever number that is. Then there's the compass rose that will tell you if north is up or if it's to the right. In most cases, it's going to be to the right. Is there any questions on that page? Okay, the actual maps, this is the second page of a map book, and you can see it tells you what page it is coming from and what page it's going to. You can see an example of a split here. You can see an example of a sag line. It shows you that there's a bike repair there. There's a store, there's food of some kind. In this case, there's a rest stop at the St. Jude Catholic Church. And it shows you the mileage. There's corner mileage. There's the mileage when you get into DeWitt. This next page shows you there again another rest stop, and it shows you that we provided porta potties, has a sag line. There's restrooms there, bike repair. You can see the red sag coming into Maple Rapids because that's one of the personal sag meeting locations. And in Maple Rapids, there's food, there's stores, there's restrooms, there's bike repair. That's where the sag-free bike battery exchange will be. Then on this page, it shows you another rest stop. And there is a bike store that's indicated right here in Alma. So if you need to stop by a bike store to buy something, there is a bike store there. There's stores and restaurants. There'll be a bike repair at the park, SAG meeting location, personal SAG meeting location. The date, and there's a blow up. If we can't really see the detail on the map, we'll do a blow up like this. So when you see the little arrow and then lines going out, little circle and then lines going out to the big circle, refer to the big circle, you can see a lot more detail. And then the tent symbols where we'll be camping, and it tells you the total mileage at that camp, the name of the school, kind of reminds you when dinner and breakfast is. On the bottom of the last page for each day is the address of the school. So if you need to look up the address for any reason. Okay, this page is on the next day when we get to McBain, and it says starting at noon, access to the showers will be from the outside on the south side of the building. Access from the inside will start after students have vacated the building around 3:30. So you can go into school and take a shower if you'd like, but you have to go in from the south side. You can't go in through where you normally would on the north side, and you can't go in the cafeteria area. This is a page showing the new camping location in Kalkaska. It's a big area, it's got a big building, a lot of field. That's our new location this year on the 5 West route. Then this page, we get, when we leave Kalkaska the next day, you have your choice of routes. And the main route goes through Charlevoix. And there's a note here that there's an alternate route that goes through Boyne City and East Jordan, and that starts on page 19. So if you want to take that, you can just go to page 19. And there's also a note that there's 2 routes. So if you are doing an e-bike battery, make sure you get it on the correct truck so it's on the same route you're on, or not truck, with SAG vehicle. And then this is the alternate route. So it's in black, and it also tells you where the main route started in case you missed the main route. And then on the alternate route, there's actually an alternate on the alternate. When you get to East Jordan, you can take the route with the wall on it. Or if you want to avoid the hill and have a little more scenic route, you can take this other route that goes through Advance. And they come back together right as you're coming into Boyne City. So they're both going to get you to the same point. There's a rest stop in East Jordan at the fire station, and that will have the e-bike exchange at it. Then this is Mackinac City, And in Mackinac City, the ride finishes at the high school. But if you want to go up, and it's very short, just a couple tenths of a mile north of the school, to a little park on the lake, DALMAC will have a photographer there, and they'll take your picture free of charge between 11 and 3. And then you can download a high-res picture. And this is a 4-day west page, and this shows the new school in East Jordan. 4-day west will be staying in East Jordan this year instead of Boyne City. This is from the east route, and just north of Wolverine, there is a North Central State Trail that parallels the route, and it's a limestone trail. And that section of road's kind of rough, but there's no paved road option without adding a lot of miles. So we give you the option, if you prefer, you can ride that limestone trail, follow the black line, then a couple little short distance on gravel road to get back out to the road. That will keep you off the gravel or off the rough road if you'd like. I would recommend having a little wider tires, which the note here states if you're going to ride the trail, because it is limestone. It's a good trail, but it's not paved. And this page, here again, you have 2 options for routes. So it lets you know that the long route, if you want to take the long route on the last day, it starts on page 20. And this is from the trail book, and it starts in Waters. And if you're riding the east route, you'll be coming up Old 27 through Waters. So you'll be right here. If you look to your left in Waters, you'll be able to see the trail. So if you decide you want to switch over to the trail instead of staying on the road, you can do it right there. And then there's other places along the way that's fairly easy to get back and forth. Also, if you're riding a trail and you want to ride the road up to the start of the trail instead of being shuttled, you can follow the road route up to Waters and then jump on the trail. Then at the end, we have a cue sheet. On the cue sheet, it will tell you what direction your turn is. Like this is a left turn. It's on Farm Lane, and the name of Farm Lane will change to Collingwood, and you're on it for 2.1 miles. And since you had 1/10 of a mile when you got there, then you'll be 2.2 miles when you get to the next turn. So at 2.2, you turn left on Elizabeth for 0.4. Then at 2.6, you make another turn. So you can follow this all the way if you prefer this instead of the map. Is there any questions on the maps at all?
I do have another question.
Okay.
I'm just curious how big the map is. I'm thinking about the bag that I was planning to have on my bike, and I'm not sure a map will fit into it depending on what the size of it is.
4.25 by.
Yeah. Okay. I see the picture. Okay, that's helpful. And
So it's less than a half a sheet of paper in size.
This is my first year on RAGBRAI or on DALMAC, obviously. And I just want to say that's an impressive set of maps you've got there.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, Dave does an amazing job on these maps.
Is it possible to access that map prior to the ride, say digitally?
No, we haven't made that capability available. That's a good idea. And that may be something we could do in the future. But this year, we don't have that capability.
What about on Ride GPS? Is it available as a route
So-
on the?
Wow, did you rehearse with Dave to segue to his ride with GPS?
Yeah, we
Anything to
actually have two options for ride with GPS. Let me stop that screen share and start a new one here. Okay, this we're using the Ride with GPS experience, which is app that you can load on your phone, and regardless of whether you have a Ride with GPS account or not, if you have a Ride with GPS account already, then you can, from within your account, you can say enter shortcut and load this experience or scan the QR code. If you don't have Ride with GPS account, you can download the app, tell it you to enter a shortcut and load this up without ever registering for an account. And this is a simulation, so it doesn't show everything that's in the app, but it gives you an idea of what it's going to look like on your phone. And these three bars up here on the left, if this was the actual app, would be a menu. And I could open that menu and say return back to my regular account. But when you go in, you'll be at this page, and it has our website address for TCBA and also for DALMAC if you want to find more information. And then in the guide pages, you have SAG and other phone numbers, which tells you who your route coordinator is. This one, particular one's the 5 West, but it has the route coordinator, the assistant coordinator, the SAG dispatch, and all these numbers. If you, when you're in the app, if you just click on them, your phone will dial for you, so you don't have to remember the number. We found that if you're in an area with bad cell service, that a text will usually go through even if a phone call won't. So if you can't get a phone call through because you're in a bad area, try sending a text to the SAG dispatch. The en route repair truck for this tells you who the in camp bike repair is for this particular route. And the reason I say in camp is because the repair trucks on the road could be from a different route. So you might run into a different repair truck on the road, which is fine. It's still a DALMAC repair truck and it'll still repair your bike. And then Padres is a tent service. If you bought the optional tent service and you need to contact them, their number is here. Then the itinerary, just gives you your baggage loading time, breakfast and dinner times, quiet hours, just as a reminder. And then as you go into each day, like Wednesday, we're going to ride from MSU to Vesterberg. So I go into that and it reminds you that on that day, since there's more than one route leaving, to make sure you get your baggage on the correct truck. Because on Wednesday, we'll have the 5 West truck and we'll also have the East route truck. And we'll try to watch wristbands to make sure you get your bags on the right truck. We'll watch the signs on the truck. That tells you where to be repair truck stops that day. Tells you where personal SAG meeting point is if you have a personal SAG. And it tells you the SAG free bike battery exchange, where it's located for that day. And then if this was the actual app on your phone, I could just click on this. or it says 5 West D1, that stands for 5 West A1. And it would bring it up and I could just hit navigate and go ahead and navigate. Let me bring up this one because this one's going to show us we have 2 routes that day, so it reminds you to put your e-bike battery on the correct sag if you have one. And then the main route, if I click on this, it would take me to the main route. If I go down here, then there's actually 2 Ride with GPS files, one for the alternate route going up the wall and one for the alternate route bypassing the wall. Then on Sunday, we have options because you can, going through the tunnel of trees, you can either ride the chute, which is a fun downhill, or you can ride lower shore, which you don't have to climb as much and it's a lot more scenic. And then you can also do both of those with going up to heavy photo taken. So that's the Ride with GPS experience. Is there any questions on that?
Have these files been posted? I've been searching on Ride with GPS and I haven't found them.
They will be shortly. I'm putting the finishing touches on them, and all registered riders will get an email with both a link and also a QR code that you can scan. And you'll also get a link to a Ride with GPS event, which I like this experience, and I would load this experience on your phone, even if you're using a dedicated GPS for navigation, because this has all this extra information you're not going to have on your Garmin or Wahoo or whatever you use. Plus, it gives you another backup, and there's no cost, so you might as well load it on your phone. In my mind.
And there was a text question about what is the shortcut, or is that going to be an email as well?
That will be an email too. When you're in Ride with GPS in the phone app, if you go down just a little ways on your home screen, you should see a thing that says shortcut, and tap on that. And then you can enter a 5-digit code, which will be in the email, or you can use the phone camera and scan the QR code. And you'll get our email with that. And also, it will be on the back cover of your map book.
Dave?
Yes.
I was make sure there was a question from Julianne about where they would find the link, the shortcut to put in the app. And I think you answered that. Julianne, if that didn't answer your question, please speak up and we'll resolve it for you.
And if anybody's riding either the 5 West or the East route, I will be at the pavilion Tuesday night and Wednesday morning out at one of the baggage trucks, because I'll be driving a baggage truck. So, feel free to come out in the parking lot, look me up if you have any problems or questions. If you're on the 4 or 3 or 2-day route, don't hesitate to email me routes and maps at biketcba.org. And there again, that email's on our website, and it will also be on your map book.
So I'll put a pitch in here for Ride with GPS. If you're a TCBA member, one of the benefits of membership is you get a free Ride with GPS account. You can use the experience or your own account. If you wanted to sign up to be a member of TCBA, you can do that, and it's very inexpensive. I think it's $15 for a year. And the value of the Ride with GPS is greater than that. So if you're interested in becoming a TCBA member, you will get the benefit of having a Ride with GPS app.
How do you take advantage of that? I am a member and I didn't realize that. That's a great perk. Just
Yeah,
Okay.
when you log in on the biketcba.org website, you'll see a link, a tab on the first page. I think it'll take you there.
okay, thanks.
Correct, yeah, and you can get a free Ride with GPS account, but if you're a member of our club account, for any rides in the club account, and there's thousands of them and we're adding them all the time. There's a lot, you get all the benefits of premium account with that, where the free Ride with GPS account has stripped down options, and some of the stuff you get with the premium that you get for being in the club account is you can get turn-by-turn voice navigation on your phone. You can print custom maps and cue sheets if you want a paper copy, and there's a lot of other advantages. It's definitely, if you're a TCBA member and you use Ride with GPS, I'd definitely join the club account.
I have
Do you
another
need-
question. Oh,
Okay, go ahead.
yeah. So I have a Ride with GPS account, but I'm not very experienced with it. Do I understand the experience that you talk about? Is that a separate app that I need to download, or will it be with my, what I already have?
No, you can load it right on your app you have right now. On the home screen of the app, I wish I could actually show my phone on Zoom, but unfortunately I can't. If you, on the home screen of your Ride with GPS app, if you go down just a little ways, you'll see like some symbols, and it'll say like planner, events, organizations. Slide that over to the right and you'll see where it says shortcut. And if you tap on shortcut, then you can either enter the shortcut code or you can scan the QR code for the shortcut.
Okay, and that's something that'll be coming to us soon. Is that right?
Right. You're getting an email for that. And also, it'll be on the back of your map book. And also at the bottom, across the bottom of the app with the menu, if you hit those three little dots that say more, then one of the options that comes up will be open shortcut. And there again, you can type in the code or you can scan the QR code.
Okay, thank you.
Now, do you need to have a paid Ride with GPS account in order to access the event?
No, because this will, for DALMAC, it will act like you have a paid account. Free accounts are perfectly fine. And you don't even really need an account. You can download the app without an account. And if you can load the experience without having an account.
And does the experience have the turn-by-turn capability?
Yes, it will give you spoken turn by turn. And you'll be able to see on the screen, which I wouldn't leave the screen on the whole time due to battery life. But you can, the screen will bring itself on when you get close to a turn, but it will start warning you before the turn, and quarter mile or whatever distance, turn left on 3rd Street or whatever the case is. So it's it's pretty easy to use. I wouldn't do this personally because it's too easy to miss, especially if you're in traffic. I'd rather have it on my handlebars in case it's noisy. But I know one girl that carries her phone in her back pocket of her jersey and just listens to it for navigation. So that is possible. Like I said, I wouldn't recommend it because if you don't hear it,
And remember, no headphones are allowed.
I've got a question about that. I use a pair of bone conducting headphones, which don't go in your ear and they don't block ambient sound. I use those primarily for my my radar unit and for the turn-by-turn instructions so that I don't miss things like that. So I'm wondering if that's going to be a problem or not.
I don't think so. I know a number of people who ride with the bone conduction, and I've asked some of them, can you really hear the traffic? And the answer is yes. You can still hear the traffic because your actual ears are open.
Right.
And it's not blocking the ambient sound. So I think it would be okay.
Okay.
yeah, I know Ride with GPS recommends that if you use headphones, to use the bone conduction headphones because regular headphones will block out background noise, so it is a safety hazard.
Yep.
Okay, and then the other thing we can do is we will have for those that uses a dedicated GPS unit. We'll also have a Ride with GPS event. And let me just bring one up here. Okay, can you see this Ride with or this DALMAC 5 West?
Yep.
Okay, this is what the event looks like, and it will have all the routes. There'll be one for each route, and you can go to these routes, and like if I go to this route, then I can download it. I can export file. You can whatever formatted file you want. If you have your account tied into your GPS, I know you can do it with Garmin, and I know you can do it with Wahoo. If you have your accounts tied together, you can just hit the pen icon and then it will transfer automatically wirelessly, so you don't have to export the files. So if you're using a Garmin or a Wahoo or something, it's going to be easier to get the files from here than it is getting them from the Experience. But like I said, I'd still load the Experience, just have the additional information plus have a backup system. And this will also be in the email, and the link to it will also be on the email you receive. Is there any questions on this?
No.
And one thing I can do is I can do show all on the map. And now if you look at the map, you kind of get an idea of what the route looks like. And you can see up here where we got different options.
All right. We've consumed an hour, and we try to keep things to an hour. And Dave, thank you very much for the review. I use Ride with GPS all the time. I love it. And I have a Wahoo head unit, so it syncs up automatically. I press the button on the Wahoo and away I go. And that's a really nice feature. Any questions or anything that we can address before we close?
Yeah, I wanted to ask a question about the bus ride. I see that I got a registration confirmation, but I didn't receive anything specifically about, I think I took the 6 o'clock bus, but I honestly don't remember.
So you can log on to the race roster. And when you get logged on to race roster, you can take a look at what you registered for, and you can still get a bus ticket on race roster if you've not done it.
We gotta do that.
Okay, thank you.
Any special, ask me any special need for trikes.
My dad is riding a trike.
Okay.
Any special for that as far as the truck back or?
No, we will accommodate that. Is it an electric?
Yes.
Okay, so you may want to take advantage of the battery swapping. But yes, we have a number of trikes that go on the tour and we can accommodate you.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Can I ask a question about the bus coming back to Grayling? It says that you can either park over at Waters, drive your car over there and start there, or get the shuttle over to there, but the bus is going to bring us back to, I mean, it's not going to bring us back to Waters, right? So I need to leave my car where the bus is going to come back, right?
That's right. And we've got a system in place to accommodate you for that. And I'll ask my crew chief who's on here, Pat, number 7, you see him there, and that's not his picture really. Pat, you want to address that question?
We will be communicating to all trail riders prior to the tour via email on logistics options. We have several ways that will have you leave your vehicle in Grayling with the rest of the folks. There are about 100 folks adding on to the tour at Grayling. There will be a significant presence. We will be loading and shuttling bikes up to Waters, and the bus is correct coming to Grayling. So I hope that helps.
Yep, thank you. It does help. Thank you.
I've got 3 more fairly simple questions, if I may.
Go ahead.
One is, I noticed there's a swimming symbol on the map. Do some of the overnight towns have swimming pools that we can go to?
The towns do not. Those swimming symbols are generally near a natural body of water, which you can go swimming. We're new at the Kalkaska Coliseum. I don't know that if they have a pool. We will find out about that. And if our riders are able to swim in their pool, we will let you know. But typically the schools, are not allowing us to use their pools.
Okay. I was just thinking of outdoor pools that the city might have, but that sounds like that's not the case. Second thing is, will there be showers available up at Mackinac City when we finish there?
Yes, we have arrangements with the Mackinac City High School, and you can take a shower there, and they have food as well for sale. So you can have something to eat and take a shower.
Okay. And then lastly, at the registration on Tuesday evening in East Lansing, are we able to drop our bag then, or do we have to wait until the morning?
The baggage trucks will be loaded in the morning, right, Pat?
They're open during all hours of registration, so you can load on Tuesday evening
And
Okay.
and on Wednesday morning.
Yes.
Right. Okay, thank you.
Anything else for the good of the order?
Yeah, I've got a question now that you've mentioned the baggage. I no longer drive a car, so I'm going to be riding from the Grosse Pointe area to Lansing, which means I've got pannier bags. And there was you were allowed 2 bags. I think it was 45 pounds each. If I
Correct.
recall. Do I have to pack those pannier bags into 2 separate bags, or can they be counted as 2 bags consisting of 4 bags?
I don't think there's any problem with you loading your panniers as your bags. And if you're riding with 90 pounds of stuff on 2 bags, I'm impressed.
No, it shouldn't be that much.
Okay.
What route are you on?
I'm on the 5 West.
Okay. I'll be one of the SAG drivers, so
Yeah,
we'll see you.
you'll see Dave, and we can accommodate your panniers.
Okay, yeah, because I've got a trunk bag that I'm planning to use for the actual ride, but I need to use the panniers for the to and from.
Mhm.
Yeah, Dave will be there as a baggage driver. We're mainly interested in weight and size, and we're interested in people using trash bags where it all tears apart and there's just a pile of dirty laundry in the corner. So
So that'll
Yeah, you're-
save me packing 2 extra bags then. I appreciate that.
sure, and if you hear of a person with a special needs and luggage, such as a CPAP machine, something delicate, then we accommodate those. They just hand it to the baggage driver.
Okay.
That sounds like quite a ride to get to the,
Yeah, I've got actually the first week of August, my store is closed, so I'm planning to do a trial ride out to Lansing, looking for a camping ground somewhere around there that I can stay at, and then come back. So that'll give me a good taste of what I'll be in store for.
yeah.
You're welcome to send an email to volunteer@dalmac.org, and we'll help you out on any questions you have around here.
Okay, thank you, I appreciate
And
it.
you can camp in Dan's backyard. He won't even notice.
Where did you say you're coming from again?
Grosse Pointe Farms.
Okay.
So it's about 100 miles, if I understand it right.
Okay. And Tuesday night, you can camp at MSU. They have a charge for that, but they will.
Yeah, I've signed up for that, both,
Okay.
both coming and going.
We have 2 SAG drivers in our company cars coming out of Metro Detroit North Side.
It's on the truck and so on.
Oh,
If your weather turns to crap.
They don't,
I appreciate that. That would be good.
Yeah, send a memo. We'll be happy to help.
All right, thank you.
And as to my backyard, you'd have to fight with Marley the dog.
talking about registration, what time does registration open up on Wednesday? We're coming from Grand Rapids, so we don't need to be there overnight. What time can we get there to register and start writing?
Registration will open at 5
On Tuesday,
on Tuesday, 5 p.m. on Tuesday. Yeah.
What about
Seven.
Wednesday morning? Can you register Wednesday morning?
Yeah.
7 to 9, 7
Seven.
o'clock.
Yep. 7 to 9.
Okay, and then so the luggage won't leave till 9 o'clock. So if we're there at 7, we're fine.
That's right.
How long of a process is that? We'll be riding by about 8 then? About an hour to check in and do
Easily.
stuff? Okay,
Yeah. It's pretty quick. We have a lot of volunteers working in the pavilion, and Wednesday morning is a much lighter
Registering and
number of people. There's Tuesday night's the big rush.
What about registration,
yeah, he said that.
signing up on
He said
Wednesday
that.
morning?
Yeah, he said that.
Oh, you said that? Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to say thanks. You guys are awesomely organized, and it's very impressive. And thanks for all your work to set this event up for all these people who are going to ride. It's good work. Thank you so much.
Well, you're welcome. We're happy to do it. This is my first year as the DALMAC director, and I'd be lost without the likes of Pat number 7 and Dave Mansfield. And really, we appreciate that. We love putting this ride on. It's been going on for 52 years, and I interrupted only by COVID. So
How many riders are riding this year?
there's a total of about 1,100 riders. The West route, 5 West, has just over 500 riders, and the rest are split among the other routes.
Okay, wow, that's great. Yeah, you guys do a fantastic job. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, anything else? Well, seeing nothing, thank you for joining this evening. Thank you for being a DALMAC writer. I look forward to seeing you. If you see me out there wandering around, flag me down and say hello, because I'll be out there. All right, thank you, everyone, and good night. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.